Devin joins us on the Harbor One hotline this morning. Hi, Devin. How are you?
Good morning, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, thanks. Looks like some inclement weather coming, cold at least. How are you guys feeling about that? And in general, how's prep been for Bengals week?
Yeah, man, I think the one good thing about playing in New England is you're used to the crazy weather. I mean, right now it's pouring rain, and then tomorrow's going to be really cold. And you just think back to all the time, especially for me that I've been here, and we come in the morning meeting and Bill says, whatever it is outside, get your shit on and get out there. We're practicing in it. So hopefully all of those days have prepared us, and I think the Bengals week has gone fast, but I think guys have kind of reset, come back, get on top of it, watching film, trying to get prepared and do the things we need to do to go out here and play fast and execute tomorrow. Not a normal week, especially coming back from the West Coast, but I think everybody, we knew what it was, and everybody came back and just stayed focused on the task and, moved on past, the game last week. Really, we looked at it as like the last two games of staying on the West Coast and now just being ready to come back and play well at home.
Devin, when you watch Joe Burrow and that offense on tape, obviously it's a cat and mouse game every single time you're out there with the opposing quarterback, the opposing coaches. But when you look at Burrow in particular as a third-year player, what he's been able to accomplish and the weapons they have, what stands out to you about that team?
Yeah, man, Burrow reminds me of like the Pat Mahomes, these young guys who don't look like young guys when you play them. Like, you wouldn't know that Burrow's only in his third year when you turn on the film. I think when you watch him, his understanding of defenses, reading where, the safety is, knowing, where different guys are aligned, even at the corner position of understanding their leverage. He knows where he wants to go. He knows where he wants to attack. And he plays fast, gets the ball out, and, obviously they have a tremendous skill group. I feel like I've been saying that the last few weeks every time we play somebody. But, I think with these three receivers and Hayden Hurst, you have really, probably one of the best groups in the NFL of pass catchers. So a really tall task, I think, defensively, playing against this unit. Everyone really has to play well because if you only focus on the pass, I think with P. Ryan and Mixon in the backfield, they've shown to be really dangerous this year. So these guys can do a lot of things well offensively. We'll have to, really come out, I think, this week and, play with our kind of full defense. With everybody playing well, everybody playing together, all 11 guys, and really doing that for 60 minutes.
Devin, I know you guys don't tend to look ahead, past your opponents, but with each game being kind of a must-win to keep your playoff hopes alive, does that really feed into the energy and emotion in the locker room heading into this game?
Yeah, man, I think it definitely creates a sense of urgency, but I think the one thing that's been good about this team is we've tried to really stay locked in and focused. Obviously we know the stakes, we know the task at hand, but if you don't want to turn it into where all you're thinking about is, man, we got to win this game, man, we got to win. Like at the end of the day, to win those games, what it comes down to, preparation and executing. And I think that's been the focus. Guys have been locked in on that and not on the things that we can't control. Like, we know what it is, we know what we have to do. But you can't think about that every day, every minute of the day. You got to think about how you win. And I think, Coach Belichick, Bill has always done a good job of keeping that main thing, the keys and the ways to win. And that's been really the focus of the week this week.
Devin McCourty, our guest here on a Patriots Friday on WEEI. Now, Devin, your teammate, it's Christmas week, and Matt Judon took a shot at you this week, said you're old and grumpy. What is going on with that? It's not very nice on holiday week.
Man, I don't get it. The guy, this is what he does to me. He makes a Pro Bowl. I repost it on my Instagram. Then he comments. He says, hey, man, he likes me. And then, I got to hear that he's talking bad about me in the media again. He's talked bad about me and AC, I think 2 weeks ago. You just got to sometimes be careful who you consider your friends, what they do with you, in the locker room and having fun in meetings. They go out there behind your back and talk bad about you. So he'll be hearing a lot from me today, and I'll set him straight. Don't worry about that.
Last game, he dropped in the coverage a lot. How did he do? Did you grade his pass coverage?
For one, this guy's been talking about how well he can cover all year ever since the Najee Harris play against Pittsburgh. So, he does okay. Obviously, doesn't drop in coverage a ton. It's a nice little mix-up. I always tell him, man, he's a guy that goes forward better than he goes backward.
It's funny, too, because Bentley and AP caught another stray this week from Judon. Man, nobody's safe. I wanted to talk to you about some leadership stuff, because Bill Belichick was talking about a couple of weeks ago that there are so many different kinds of ways that you can lead, and there are guys like Dietrich Wise and Juwan Bentley, another guy, and obviously you and Matthew Slater. A lot of it's been made about Mac Jones and his way of doing things. And I wanted to ask you about, in particular, in his situation, second-year quarterback, and he's got a lot on his shoulders. How difficult is that for a young guy, who's also a captain on this team, to find his voice? And how much latitude do you give him to explore that, whether sometimes it is him showing some frustration?
Yeah, man, I think a lot has been made of different things that have nothing to do with the actual guys in the locker room. And I think, we just go. And I told Mac that before. To be a leader, you got to be yourself. And the one thing I learned from Coach Shiano was, to be a leader, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that means at times people are going to question your leadership, question what you do. And to me, that's okay, because the only people you should care about is the people you're serving, the people in the locker room, the coaches. Like, that's what this team is built on. So inside our locker room, there hasn't been issues. But I think outside the locker room, there's so many storylines and things created that you got to be careful about. Like, you're almost addressing like it's a problem. Like, we don't have any issues. I think, my second year, I was a captain. Like, you learn from the other guys. You try to take things that they do. You try to understand, what it means to not only be a leader in the NFL, but to be a consistent player. And, you're trying to do all of that at once. So the only thing that I've ever told them, and the same thing Vince Wilfork told me, Gerard Mayo, was be yourself and figure the things out that are best for you, and it all works out in the end. So I think what Max has been doing this year has been awesome. Same thing with, how he came in and started and played as a rookie. And I tell him all the time, this team and the offense, they're going to move the way he moves. They're going to go off of him. And, that's the thing about playing quarterback. That's not easy when you're young, but that's what comes with that position.
Yeah, you talk about the offense. They've at points this season they've struggled, especially in certain games and certain situations, and particularly in the red zone. As a leader and a captain on this team, do you feel pressure, or do you feel a need to really kind of get your defensive players up and be like, we need to continue to keep points off the board to help our guys out on offense?
Yeah, I mean, we always want to keep points off the board. And I said this earlier in the year when someone asked me a question similar to that. Like, if our offense was scoring, 50 points a game, I still wouldn't be like, hey, man, defensively, like, as long as we only give up 35, we'll be good. Like, we still would want to be out there and giving up no points and having a good defense. So, like, there's no extra or added pressure to me. Like, we want to go out there and be a good defense. We want to turn the ball over. We want to try to score touchdowns. Like, we love the fact that, we can be a good defense. The guys in there work their butts off, communication-wise, individually getting better as players. So when we go out there and get to play a game, like, we want to show that off. We want to go play well no matter what the offense is doing. So, I think ultimately it comes down to, like, we want to have a good team. We want to play complementary football. We want to do those things. But I would say, like, for me as a defender, like, I don't ever think of, like, depending on what they do means that we got to play better or we could play worse. Like, no, I just want to go out there and play good football because of the work and the sacrifice that we all put in to come out here and play.
And again, last week, Devin, you guys came up with a defensive touchdown. The Duggar pick six. Was that did he read the play, or looking back on it, what really led into that, him being able to jump that?
Yeah, man, I think, like, I don't like to hype players up, too much, but like Colin Duggar, the sky's the limit. Again, I think you've seen that. It just feels like if he keeps playing plays and he's out there more and more, like, you're just going to see plays that not everybody can make. And, like, that was just a call where he looks out, and he's always watching film, always studying. He looks out and sees Adams do a short motion. And, we all kind of talked about, like, when he does that motion, like, there's not many things he does off that. And Doug just took a shot to go make the play and made a play that's not easy to make, jumping the screen, he had another play against, Keelan Cole where he just, one hand throws him out the way and helps makes a TFL on Jacobs. The guy is just unbelievably talented, so gifted. It's been a joy for me to see him develop and play good football. He's really a beast out there.
Yeah, and he talked about it yesterday, the fact that having an understanding of when to take risks and when not to take them. It was definitely very impressive. I only got one more question. All right. In the background while we're talking to you, we got NFL Network on, and one Jason McCourty is hanging out on set in a Grinch suit. Have you ever seen him wear that before?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's wearing a Grinch suit. Have you ever seen that? And I mean, you got any critiques for the outfit?
I did see it, but I got to head into work right now and go find a TV to see what he looks like. That's my guy. You just said taking risks, when to take risks, when not to. Christmas time of the year, I love it. Going with the Grinch, that's taking a nice risk and going on TV with the Grinch, especially keeping it on for 3 hours. Like, I can appreciate that from J-Mac.
Well, Devin, we appreciate the time. Good luck tomorrow, and hope you have a great holiday, all right?
Appreciate it, man. You guys, too.
Thank you, Devin.
Devin McCourty here on a Patriots Friday on WEEI. Thanks a lot.